Hey, it's Maria from Still Dreaming Homestead. Glad to be back with you. Today's the first day of standard time, I guess it is. And so it is like 6:30 at night, but I have been doing some prep. So I bought 5 packages of London broil at the local store. They had it on sale for $3.77, which was a pretty good buy. And I asked them to cube it for me. That is a huge time saver when you're canning. And I really, really appreciate them doing that. So I've got this in here. I'm going to get the blood rinsed out of it. But I'll show you the rest of the stuff first. And I put my hair back because nobody wants my hair in their food. So I've cut up a lot of the carrots, celery. I still have more celery to do. Onions. I've got corn. I only had 1 jar left of my green beans, so that's what we're going to use on that. Let me turn this the other way. Is that working? Yeah. Here I've got pink Himalayan salt. I'm going to use some brown gravy mix, coarse black pepper, dried basil, granulated garlic, parsley flakes, and of course I have my handy dandy canner all ready. Now inside here, jars. So, well, I hope that didn't make you dizzy. First thing I'm going to do is rinse the blood off this meat. I don't want that, of course. There we go. The Bible says that we are not to eat the blood from the meat, because in it is the life. Now, I always keep my compost bucket handy right by the sink. So let's cut off this end already. I'm going to cut off this end of the celery. And just for the fun of it, I've saved it with the other one and put it in this lid. See that? And we'll see what sprouts. I think that we won't get a lot, but we will definitely get some celery for tasting. I think it will be mostly leaves, but it'll be good. Okay, so finish chopping the celery. Of course, I already washed this. I figured you've seen, whether it was myself or other people chopping before, you've chopped, and so you don't really need to see all of that. I wanted to show you this little cutting mat. I had never seen these for a long time. They're flexible. They make it really nice for pouring things out. So I'll show you how well that works. So it just bends and everything comes out. There we go. Compost out of the way. What do I want to do this? I'm going to grab a couple hot jars. Using quart wide mouth ones. This one doesn't look like they I'm not going to use this one. It is a mayonnaise one, I think. I wouldn't mind using that for fruit and stuff, but when I'm going to use a hot water bath, I think I'd rather not. So we'll just start with 5 for now. Actually, I think my thing holds 7, so we'll get out 2 more. This is going to be really easy. I'm going to put it way back here. Hopefully you'll be able to see and hear everything. I hope. So otherwise, you've always got my back, and that seems silly. Grabbed a nice teaspoon. And I can go up a little higher than this. And we're going to begin. So this is a 1/2 cup. I'm going to start with these beef chunks. They did cut them quite a bit bigger than I would have liked, but that's okay. So I'm going to do a heaping. Guess what I forgot? My funnel. I'll get it now. I got the funnel. That was pretty funny. So I'm just going to start here and do, like I said, a heaping. It probably amounts to 3/4 of a cup of beef chunks. Might even stick in another 1 or 2 in each jar. This type of thing goes so fast. Well, especially when everything's prepped. Oops, wrong one. Next time I will ask them if they can cut them in smaller chunks for me. But this is okay. How does that look? It looks like this one could use another chunk or 2. And this one I'm going to put a chunk in. First thing in. Next, we're going to put in a handful. This is probably a nice handful of carrots in each one. I never have been the best person at following recipes really directly. Although I am careful when I can it, that I can it for the right amount of time. There we go. Let's do some celery. This will make a really nice soup. Be very flavorful, fast, easy meal. Now I have my canning jars, as you saw, in the dishwasher, but beyond the canning jars, I I have the lid. Now I want to push this down. I have more ingredients to go in. Okay. Next is going to be onions. I love onions. I buy them 50 pounds at a time. Now last year, when I gardened, I grew a lot of celery. So for a soup starter or a meal starter really, I canned quite a few jars of just onion and celery together. Now, obviously, all of these jars may not get beans, but maybe they will. They're not going to get a lot. The nice thing about soup is it's kind of a one-dish meal. Serve this with some nice bread, and you're pretty well set up. Good. I still need to push this down more, so I'm going to push it down and I'll be right back. That's better. I used my Vitamix plunger. That worked really good. Now let's just put a little bit of corn in it. Now I'm going to fill this up to about 1 inch from the top. You got to leave some head space. And this is going to be a very thick soup. So when you are eating it, you'll be able to either add a can of broth if you want, or I could add a can of my sauce that I make. Either one. Can't always really see how full things are. I think that looks perfect. Always pushing down. What do you like in yours? I really thought that maybe some butternut soup mix would have been good. Now to this, these are iced teaspoons, so they're smaller than the other. I'm going to add an iced teaspoon level to each jar. You can add it to your taste. The canning process will do the preserving. I found out when I made the barley beef stew that this turkey or brown gravy mix made a huge difference. So I'm going to add kind of a heaping teaspoon of that. Not teaspoon, iced teaspoon. It just added a nice flavor. It didn't make it real thick or anything, but it did add a nice flavor. Pepper, do about 3/4 of one. Now my son Jason really enjoys pepper, and so I've got them to enjoy it. Just about a 1/4 teaspoon, iced teaspoon of basil will be plenty. Garlic, love garlic, so good for you. Do a spoon of this. Last ingredient is parsley flakes. It's a nice green in here. Really, green is so good for you. That's it. Next thing I'm going to do, we've got a 2-quart pitcher here. We'll fill it up with hot water so that these will be ready to go in, and let that water warm up a little bit. I'm going to turn on my canner. I want that to warm up too. Now I could add broth to this. I could add tomato juice to this. That would be fine, but really this is going to make a very tasty broth on its own. Now it's just a matter of pouring it in. I'm going to pause from there. I have this knife. I'm going to use it to check for any air pockets. So I don't want any air pockets. It'll make the fluid level go down. Then I will add some more to it. But I don't think you need to see all of that. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so it's time to wipe off the jars. First I use my hand, and I will use my hand in the end too, the most sensitive thing we have. I see that this one is a little too full, so I'm going to grab a little bit of the ingredients out of that. That's better. Put it in another one that's a little lower. Now, any time that you can, with anything that has fat on it, like meat, you want to use some white distilled vinegar. I just put it on a little paper towel and wipe the top. That will cut any oil. Now, this was made with London broil. It is super lean, so I don't know that I even needed to do that. Final thing I do, wet my hands, and I do this again. I've got my lids. Put them on. And see what an easy process this is to have your own food prepared. that you know exactly what's in it. Things are changing. Now, when I put this on, not too tight. They call it finger tight because as it's heating up, it will be pulling the air out of the jar, and it needs to be able to escape. Just a little tight there. Okay, I just want to show you what these look like. So you can see the meat layer, carrots, celery, the onions. Up here you can see a few of the green beans. So they, goodness, corn. So let's put this inside the canner now. The canner will hold 7 jars. Seven jars, perfect. So, need to get the lid. Sorry, I'm a little tired today. I got up, well, I didn't get up particularly early. This isn't really that hard, but I'll take a pause and get it on. I just wasn't pushing it down hard enough. And now we begin to tighten it. This is an all-American canner. I do have another canner. In fact, I wish it was inside right now. It's outside in the shop. Because then I could do 2 sets of this. And I tighten these up. This on high for right now. Turn it a little bit. Open the P valve. And that's it. We're going to have, I would say from what I have left, I'm guessing 7, maybe 21 quarts. Some of them may be a little different than others, and that's okay. So it depends what I have left chopped up. And if I happen to have just extra meat, I'll just go ahead and can some in pints, although I do have chunks of beef in pints already. I hope you enjoyed this. I know it's kind of long. I want to pray blessings on you and yours, in your house, out of your house, in the day and the night. Whatever you do, keep dreaming. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. And once you do, a little bell will come up. If you tap on that, you'll get notifications every time I put out a video. I do a lot of different things, from my homesteading type things to reading stories for children and for the young at heart. Anyhow, I started to tell you earlier and I forgot, they're changing up ingredients, putting cheaper ingredients in some of the foods that we're used to, and they're tasting different. I don't know if you've noticed that, but we have, like ketchup. It's tasting a lot different, so I'm going to go ahead and make some of my own. Hopefully it will be better than what we're buying. I'm buying good brands, but they do not taste the same. One was much sweeter. Maybe the sugar was whatever type of sugar they were using, was cheaper than the tomato paste. I don't know what it is, but we want to know what's in ours. So I encourage you, if you haven't tried canning yet, give it a try. Let me know what you do. All right, bye-bye.